And so it begins in my hometown and birthplace of Newcastle, Indiana. Welcome to good old Main Street. The Henry County Courthouse towering above us, that giant clock tower right there at Main Street and Broad. Yesterday, they had a hometown festival for Wilbur Wright. Wilbur Wright, also born right here in Henry County, the co-inventor of the airplane. This right here, one of the most important buildings in my entire life, the Castle Theater, the first place I ever watched a movie. We've been here before and we'll come here again, and each time I enjoy sharing you some memories and stories about this Castle Theater. Not only in my life, but my father's life, my mom's life, my grandparents, my whole entire family grew up going to the movies at the Castle. And I'm happy to share this moment with Chris the girl. My beautiful fiance, your first time this weekend in Indiana. This is the first place I brought you to the other night.
Yep.
When we got here. It was night though. We didn't get out and take a look. What do you think?
It's awesome. Yeah, I can't imagine growing up here and seeing your movies inside of classic theater like this. Like, that's amazing.
Can't remember when this opened. I want to say 1950s, maybe 60s, although my dad was coming here as a young boy in the early 70s because his best friend's father was the projectionist here. His name, I believe his name was Bill, ever since the Castle began all the way until the late 90s. So I've got a lot of movie posters back home in Florida right now that used to hang in these very windows right here. Thinking of Escape from Alcatraz, that once hung in there. Also, I've got the Snow White poster, the re-release. I've got a lot of old Disney posters that used to hang right here before us today, back home in Florida. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome if it's your first time. I am Tampa J, this is Chris the girl, and we're happy to have you here. I am reminiscing and going around town showing Chris the girl today some of my old stomping grounds, where I began. We're also stopping in to visit with family members. It's a very quick trip. Yesterday was very monumental. We covered a lot of ground. I got to show you a lot of places that not only I grew up, my dad grew up, my grandpa, very historic places like where my ancestors were buried, stuff like that. Stuff I wish I could share with all of you. I actually have in the past, and I will again. We were just very short on time this weekend. There went a bathroom. That's hilarious. But yeah, so it's been a very quick trip. We're gonna come back. We're just very short on time right now. We got a lot of things going on this year, but this has been a very monumental and awesome experience. I lived for this weekend because I wanted to show my fiance Chris here where I grew up, and I'm glad that this is happening. We'll be back, and visiting with my family and my grandpas and my mom especially was the main reason for this trip. We could come up and see everyone, but we're able to take you guys with us, starting here at my favorite theater, second favorite theater. Well, a Tampa theater is my favorite, but they're kind of equal. This is where
top three theaters. Yeah.
This is where it all began for me. My main inspiration for my channel, as I said before, is movies, and this is where I fell in love with the movies, so it correlates. I can tell a few stories here before we go, but I want to sum up your opinion on Indiana this weekend real quick at the front. Are you liking it?
I love it here. I think it's beautiful. I've driven through Indiana a few times, but I've never really stopped and looked around or anything like that. So this is my first time really spending a good amount of time in Indiana, and it is beautiful here. Every single town has been really, really beautiful and nice, and I'm ready to move.
All right, here we come, Indiana. What? That's amazing. I was hoping she would say that. I've talked it up big game all these years, and I'm glad that we can finally put it in perspective, and we will be back. There's so much stuff to film here. Yeah, so here we go. We're bouncing around town today, popping in to my grandparents' house, my mom, my aunt and uncles. We're trying to see a bunch of people because we actually leave tonight at 9:30 p.m. So we got a lot to do today, and we're hungry, of course, so we gotta go get some donuts.
Yeah.
Fun fact, you see that tower right there, Henry County Courthouse? when that was built, I think my third great grandfather worked in that courthouse. His name was Solomon Robe. He was the Henry County surveyor. Just a fun fact. My history here with my family goes way back into the 1800s. So some heavy roots here. And speaking of heavy, my grandmother on my dad's side, my grandma Laura, the last movie she ever watched before she passed away was right here in Newcastle.
Back to the Future?
Castle. Back to the Future, 1985. Heavy. That's another good memory I can share there. Yeah, a lot of memories here. There's much ahead. Hope you enjoy this tour. Welcome to Newcastle. I have so many memories of walking down this little alleyway between the castle and this building with my parents. We used to park in the back and walk to the front around the theater and buy our tickets right there at the ticket booth. I will make an announcement. Someone has recently, thankfully, purchased the Castle Theater, which closed almost a decade ago. Almost a decade ago. And they have refurbished the marquee. There's fresh paint and new neon. And it's looking awesome. I hope they reopen it someday. They say they might make it kind of like a bar, restaurant, kind of Cinebistro thing, which would be amazing. It'd be cool to come back here and watch some of the old movies that I watched as a kid, like Home Alone, Ernest Scared Stupid, Three Ninjas, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The list can go on. Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. Right here, babe. Oh, Freddy's Dead. I had my 3D glasses on. First 3D movie I ever watched, 1990. I also remember coming up here when the Matrix trilogy came out. I think it was the second movie. I think I was like 16. I wasn't even supposed to go in. You had to be 17. And I remember the lady was like, "Can I see your ID?" I'm like, I don't have an ID. I don't drive. And she's like, "Okay, here's your ticket." Oh, wow. Okay, this is a weird transition. They have gutted it. This is not the original. I'm kind of sad in this moment a little bit. It's good that they bought it and are restoring it. I think that might be the original counter there. Hopefully they're redoing it. But yeah, they have gutted out. Oh, that's the popcorn machine. Yeah. That's the original popcorn machine, babe. That's cool. That's where we got popcorn. But the theater is right through there, and it is a single theater. They never sliced it in half or did anything. It is original. So maybe one day I can get back in here. The last movie I watched here was the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I think that was like 2014 when that came out. 2014? Yep. That was the last time I watched a movie in the castle. Whoever bought the castle, and if you're watching, please show a movie here. We would love to come see it and promote it when it opens. That would be a big deal. I'll be on the next plane. What do you think?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. Hey, I'm hungry. Let's go get some donuts.
Coffee.
Coffee and donuts at the original Jack's. And this building right here next to the old Newcastle High School, the top floor is where I went to preschool. It was called the Growing Tree. I don't think it's a preschool anymore. I think at one point it was like a consignment shop, but on the back side there's a staircase, and I remember climbing up on Halloween in my Jason Voorhees costume. That mask I was wearing that day is in our living room. Mm-hmm. That's it, babe. That's the staircase. Okay. Used to go up there to preschool, and right like the year following or year after, we moved over to Hancock County to Greenfield, so that was my only experience as a young kid in school, was right here next to the old Newcastle High School. Yeah, I was wearing my little Jason Voorhees Halloween costume up those stairs. Mm-hmm. Back in that would have been like 1990. And I wish I could have got your original reaction at the first ever Jack's Donuts, but this is our second time here. We came here yesterday with my mom. But I
suppose maybe going to Jack's a decent amount of times in Florida.
That'll do it too.
Has maybe dampened the experience a tiny bit.
A little bit.
It's still really cool to see the OG. Yeah.
This is the original, and actually it wasn't this entire building here as it is today. It was just this corner when it opened up. And when I was a kid, my dad used to bring me up here and we get donuts, little tiger tails. Hoping that there's some tiger tails here today, because there wasn't any yesterday. We came too late. They sold out. That's their iconic donut, the tiger tail. Yep. Oh wait, thanks to Mom. I think she reserved us some. I forgot. Yeah, we're gonna get tiger tails. Thanks, Mom. The original donut case. We just got 7 of them, and we got tiger tails. That's my mom's favorite caramel with peanuts. We got one of those for her. Franchise opportunities now available. Apply online. Tempting. We do have these mugs at home. And this is the shop here. It's the donut shop and coffee bar. They also sell coffee. Also some take-home beverages here, some chocolate milk. And there it is.
There it is.
The iconic Tiger Tail, the vanilla chocolate glazed twist. And there's also something in the middle too. I can't ever point it out. It's kind of like a powdery chocolate thing. I don't know what it is. I don't want to know. I've been eating these since I was a toddler. I don't care. They're delicious. What was that like?
It's so good. It's really
It really is good. So good. And in the 7th grade, actually 3/4 through the way after spring break, my family moved back to Newcastle. I had lived in Greenfield and New Palestine for almost a decade. I was in the 7th grade and I came back over to Newcastle. We moved back and I went here, Newcastle Middle School. Also, this is where my mom went to middle school way back in the day. Got the pool over here in this building, the gymnasium where I played basketball. Also up in here, and I remember Chris talking about in her video in Coco about a month ago, she always remembers where she was when, you know, how you always remember where you are when 9/11 happened. You'll never forget it. Well, I was right up there. I was taking a test actually. That's where I was. September 11, 2001, right in there. It's a pretty big middle school.
It's huge.
Right?
Yeah, it's massive.
Oh, also welcome Mama Jay, back to the video.
Hi everyone.
We were just over at Grandpa's house. We spent a couple hours over there after we got Jack's Donuts. We're just hanging out, spending time with my grandpa. Now we're back in the car. I'm showing Chris where I went to middle school here in Newcastle. Back here behind here is the high school, and we're gonna show a couple other things. So there's still much ahead. Thanks for hanging out with us today in my hometown, my birthplace. What do we do next? You wanna go see the high school?
Yeah.
You went to middle school here, right?
Yep, my whole life, my whole family's gone here. We all graduated from here.
And the opposite side of the same property, the Newcastle Chrysler High School. I say Chrysler because that's what it was called when I went here. It is simply just now Newcastle High School. Chrysler left town and they changed the name. Right here before us, built in the late 50s. My grandmother went here, both my grandmothers, my mom. That right there is the world's largest and finest high school basketball gymnasium. It's built out of the ground. That's where I used to play ball. And also when I was a kid, so many games. This is the epicenter of the town. Basketball is just so huge here. The Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame, which we've been in, I did a video behind the football field down the hill. That's where I used to play football for the Newcastle Trojans my sophomore year.
The whole town comes, so it's amazing. Every Friday night, Saturday night, it holds, I think, about 12,000 people, and during sectional time, they'll put up extra seating, so then it can hold about 15,000 people. So every basketball season, this whole gymnasium, the whole community comes, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, we go in, but it's Sunday. It's shut off. I've been wanting to film it for years to show you guys where I played basketball. One day I'll come on a weekday and I'll be able to go in there to show you. I'll put a picture below into the right-hand corner of what it looks like inside. I really wanted to get in here so I could show you right now, but we'll be back. What do you think? It's a big parking lot, isn't it?
It's massive.
It's massive. Yeah. It's a big high school. And it's funny, you'd think a lot of kids would go to this high school, but my class was like 150.
Well, when I graduated back in 1983, we had one of the last largest class that graduated. My graduating class was 468.
That is unheard of here.
And so on talking about the parking lot, this is the first place I learned to drive a stick shift actually in this parking lot. And then the seniors were allowed to have a parking spot.
Oh, they still do. It's right over there. Yeah.
It's right over there.
That's where we used to park. I wasn't a senior here, but that's where they used to park.
Paint whatever you want to paint because you were a senior and you got to have your own parking
That's cool.
spot.
Do you remember where your parking spot was?
I can show you.
Oh, okay. Let's go see it. Parking spot 137. Check it out. Someone painted Spider-Man. Oh, it's the comic book. That's amazing. And that is so well done. Mom's over there trying to find her spot. Did you find it? That's where you parked?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Number 130.
130, okay. And looks like The person that last had it was a basketball player, and they drove a Dodge. Do you remember what you drove your senior year?
I had a 1976 Nova.
Oh, you parked a Nova right here? That's cool.
1976 Nova hatchback.
That's rare.
Automatic
Hatchback.
Stick on the floor.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
This person had a Dodge.
So on my parking space, I had rainbow sunflowers and just a little bit of a peace sign. It was really cool.
Very hippies.
Yeah.
It was the 70s. No, wait, no, it was early 80s. I'm sorry.
80s. I graduated in 83.
83 was Steve Alford,
With Steve Alford,
who went to Indiana University and won a gold medal with Michael Jordan in 1984. Won the NCAA championship in 1987.
And he is still in
He's our friend. Yeah. He's still
NCAA.
coaching. There's the basketball court right there. Someone's a Michigan fan. Look at that. We're not far from Michigan. Wolverines. This person shared their parking spot, 45 and 46, with another person, and they did the whole SpongeBob thing. That's nice. I'm guessing they were good friends.
With SpongeBob.
With SpongeBob. Yeah. I have the same smile as SpongeBob. Did you get it? Screenshot. Oh yeah. The softball field right behind us. I came over here because I think I've shown this before. You see this circle on this tree? This island out here? It makes kind of a circle. Well, this is a prehistoric Native American mound. And I think it's a burial mound, is what I've always been told. There's actually a plaque right over there. This right here. We're talking thousands of years ago. All right, here we go. There's a marker here. Check this out. Historical site, Chrysler Enclosure. This site was built by Native Americans as a religious structure. Okay, so it's not a burial ground. About 2,000 years ago, the circular ditch and bank enclosed a sacred space, and the gateway was aligned with the winter solstice sunrise. It is one of the few surviving earthworks in eastern Indiana, right here before the high school. And Memorial Park. Beautiful park where we used to play. Baker Park. Did I say Memorial?
Yeah,
Memorial's the other park. Baker Park. And we're inside Baker Park. I was a youngling when I first played in this park. Mom was pointing out that my dad actually built the chain link fence enclosed under the structure here. My dad built this fence when I was a kid, and it's still here today. He was a fence builder. That was the family trade, him and my grandpa. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
I've pointed out all weekend, we've gone down all the roads, and I'm like, my dad built this fence, my dad built that fence. And I can always tell because his craftsmanship, it's unique. I can tell my dad built this just the way it was built. That's how he taught me. Pretty cool. There you go. You can rent this out for parties and whatnot. When was the last time you were up here?
I come out here and sit sometimes and have lunch and
Yeah.
just sit in my car, and sometimes I come in here and sit.
Yeah, pretty neato. There used to be a sign there, but I think they took it down. That had our name on it. Fence company. All right, back in the Camaro. Again, if you saw the end of the last video, I got another free upgrade. I left it running. I mean, why not? There's no one here. And there's the last place I played football, right there. We weren't very good. I don't even know if we won a game that season. Newcastle Trojans. My dad actually was an assistant coach that year too. It's my sophomore year before I moved to Florida. 2003? Yep, 2003. And there's the Trojan at the start of Trojan Lane. Look at that. The road that runs up to the high school. And right here on 20th Street. 45 years, Mom? 45 years. My grandparents' greenhouse right here. They sold it last year after Grandma passed away. But this is it. It's still here. We don't know how long it's gonna be here. I've been dying to show Chris. This is where my grandpa would plant seeds every February in the winter, and they'd have, by May, there would be thousands of flowers inside here, and that's how they made extra money. 45 years. We've all worked inside these doors.
Grandchildren, their children, we all have. Spent a lot of years here. The year before COVID was the last, 2020 was the last time the building was open. So it's actually really gone downhill because my dad would always keep it up. But
Yeah.
we just actually sold it not too long ago on the property. So
Good memories.
so lots of memories here.
Lots of growth. There's no upkeep here. It's got a new owner to the property, but right here, babe, this is where all the flowers would sit.
And then in the back.
Back is where they grew them, and this was the...
Yeah, back here is where.
This is where they'd sit them, and Grandma would sit over there behind her desk in the cash register, right there. That was the main like office area.
But
So many moments in here. This is where Grandpa used to, there's a furnace in there basically that heats the greenhouse, and they would grow the plants during the winter. He spent a lot of time working in here.
in February, and they would start with the seeds, and then there was a furnace in here to keep everything warm.
Right.
And like I said, it's been pretty.
So no one's been planting here in almost 4 years. Yeah, so that's
the
why it looks like
greenhouse is
this.
pretty much fallen in, and the new owners that are going to take over, they're probably going to tear it down, and then they're going to add some Christmas trees and build a new greenhouse here.
Oh, they're gonna make another greenhouse?
Yeah, they think so. I think
That's amazing.
the plans, yeah. Christmas trees and greenhouse, so because it is on all this land.
Yeah, this is all
So it's
owned by
all-
my grandparents.
it's basically.
They used to grow corn and tomatoes out here.
Yeah, have
Yeah.
a garden.
They had a garden too.
We had right here. We had a house here.
It burnt down, and I was in town the day it caught fire, just passing through. It was sad.
Yeah. A
Yeah.
lot of work done.
This is what 3.5, 4 years will do, right here. All the growth. Wow. A lot of memories, huh, Mom?
Yeah. A lot.
Wish you could have seen it, all bloomed out. We got lots of pictures though, that's for sure. And there's my grandma's writing on that board right there. Flat, $16.50 a flat. Yeah, we should.
$2 a box.
That's amazing. That's her handwriting. 631 20th Street. Right beside the railroad tracks. There was a sign that hung out here. My dad made it for my grandparents. It had their phone number and everything. The greenhouse sat right there, and I have that sign. Her mom still has that sign. All right, so we just visited with my grandpa for a few hours. I seen both grandpas today, spent a lot of time with them. Not only was I boarding in that building, Henry County Memorial Hospital, you said you worked there.
Yeah, I worked in radiology there for about 7 years. My mom actually also,
Grandma worked there.
Yeah, my grandma worked there.
I worked there. No,
My mom retired from there. Your grandmother
I
retired.
put my brother in the emergency room there.
Yes, you did.
What's the story we'll save for later? It was an accident. I've always claimed that, but yes, that's where I was born. I got to show Chris where I was born this time. We came here the other day, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had to show. That's where I came into the world. Also, Mom, you were born there,
I was.
and Dad was born there. I think pretty much the whole family, but my brother was born there. Like all my cousins and aunt and uncles, all in the same hospital. That's pretty amazing if you think about it.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I hope one day to see where you were born.
Someday.
Not,
Gotta go to Canada.
we're not too far from there. Did you ever think about that?
I know. I have been thinking about it, and it's hard for me to wrap my brain around how north we are right now.
Yeah.
In about 8 hours, I think we can
Yeah.
be in Canada.
We were born 8 hours apart, I guess. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, so 8 hours in a couple years.
Yeah.
2 years. I think it was like two years and a month and 15 days or something. And here we are with my grandpa. Got to spend a few hours with him there. It was a good time. We had to take a picture. Love you, Grandpa, if you're watching. Had a good time. We'll be back. And then earlier, we were with my other grandpa. We got Grandpa Orville and Grandpa Ronnie. Those are my two grandpas. I love you both. We got to spend a couple hours with him as well. So just took a couple pictures here to show you. And everyone, welcome Cairo, my mom's dog, to the video. He's a little skittish. He's a 2-year-old.
He's wearing an X-rated collar.
He's got the collar from yesterday. I don't know if we actually showed that. We stopped back by to get our bags so we could head to the airport. Oh, good boy. Yes, you smell the better. And we spent a couple more hours out at my aunt's house with the rest of my family. They always have a big old shindig on Sundays, and Chris got to meet more of my family. And now we're heading back to Indianapolis. Our flight leaves in like 3 hours. And we had to say goodbye to my mom and everyone back there, but I will be back. I have plans to come back. This was just a short trip. For now, we got off of the interstate. Welcome to Speedway, Indiana, AKA Indianapolis. Right there is the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We were passing by here. Our flight got delayed about an hour. And I said, hey babe, you want to see the Indy 500? And here we are. This is as close as we can get right now. But it's funny because I was here a couple years ago and I parked here for the Indy 500. Actually, I parked right here in front of this car wash. They were charging like I paid $75 for parking right there. And I walked right up to the main gates of the Indy 500, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I grew up coming to this track. My uncles, my grandpa, all worked at this track at some point. My grandpa, his brother, my great uncle, worked for the Penske racing team, worked for Pancho Carter. I mean, there's more than corn in Indiana, there's also racing. The track is like a mile around, it's gigantic. But this is like the campground area where everyone camps out for weeks. What do you think? It's pretty big from this angle. You can't really see it.
Yeah, it's neat. I've never seen this before.
You were telling me to watch cars because I'd never really seen it.
Yeah, it's really cute. You love it. You really would.
But I think I know. Yeah, I know the gist of it, but it has a lot to do with the racing. Lightning McQueen. So right there, that's the pagoda right inside the track. That is where the victory line is, and victory circle to the left. I was in the 4th turn down here a couple years ago, and I watched Helio Castroneves break a record. I think it was like his 4th or 5th time winning the Indy 500. Don't quote me on that, but he definitely broke the record. And I watched him drink the milk. When you win the Indy 500, you chug milk. That's a Derry, Indiana thing. It's become a tradition. But it was right inside there. And one day when we have more time, we come back, there's a museum inside of the Indy 500 and it's open year round. I've been there many times, never vlogged it way before YouTube, but I hope to take you there someday to check it out. You can go around the track and see everything there is to see, live the history without the race. And then someday, I would love to take you to a race up here.
Yes, yes.
There is nothing like it. This is like, I hate to say this, my Florida friends, but Daytona, hold your beer, as they say. This is the world's greatest spectacle in racing. This is the world's largest racetrack right here, Indy 500. And here's the first turn right here. Grandstands. Over 600,000 people. Indianapolis 500. There's some of the track right there. And ladies and gentlemen, just down from the racetrack, from Speedway, Indiana, right here near Indiana Avenue, say hello to this Muffler Man. He's in the shadows. Muffler Man, Muffler Man. He used to have a rich in his hand, crossing off my Roadside Giant Muffler Man list right here in the heartland, Indiana. I remember this one from when I was a kid. I've passed him several times, but it's the first time I put him in a YouTube video. Welcome to Ralph's Muffler Shop. It's a Muffler Man actually at a muffler shop, and I almost missed him, but Chris over there pointed him out. Yeah, she's saying, give him a thumbs up as we're going to the airport. We're documenting another Roadside Giant. Mr. Ralph. Actually, Mr. Bindo is his name. It says right there, Mr. Bindo. Muffler Man, Muffler Man. That's a song I created a couple years back. He's a tall one, isn't he? Another Roadside Giant, Mr. Bindo here. Checked off. He's awesome. He's kind of doing that right there. Gotcha. All right, I gotta get to the airport. We got a flight to catch. Muffler Man. And just briefly passing through Indianapolis, heading to the airport. Flight was delayed about an hour and a half, so we got a little time, but also we just want to hurry up and get there. We're gonna get home very early in the morning and we both have to work tomorrow. Welcome to downtown Indy, Monument Circle. I've been up to the top of that tower, the Soldiers and Sailors Monument. One of my first field trips. Just passing through. Look at this. That's how you do it right there. They're having fun. Just driving around the circle. I've been inside that church over there. It's been a few years since I've been down here. Next time we'll have more time, we'll get out and walk around. Watch ahead. All the way around. You could literally just go in circles all day.
Yeah.
Way up. And during Christmas, it becomes the world's largest Christmas tree because they drape lights over it, make it a tree. And we're pulling into Indianapolis International Airport right at sunset. Gotta fuel up the car before we turn it back in. And we made it, babe. Look at this. Have a fun weekend in Indiana?
I sure did. Can't wait to come back.
All right, here it is. Here's the test. What'd you think about my family?
I love them.
I know you do. I love them too. This meant a lot to me.
Yeah, it meant a lot to me.
It's a big trip. Short, quick, and big trip.
Yep.
Indianapolis International. Goodbye, Indy. We'll be back. And speaking of the Indy 500, there are several Indy cars, historic Indy cars, located inside the airport. This one belonged to Jim Hurtubise. This looks like it's from the 70s or the 60s, I believe. Oh, there's a sign down here. Check this out. Way off. This one is from 1956. It's a 1950s Indy car. Tombstone Life, STP. It is 10:47 and we're boarding our plane. Indiana, St. Petersburg. Should take about 2 hours and 15 minutes once we hit the runway. And here we come work tomorrow. 1:36 in the morning and we have made it home. PIE, St. Petersburg Clearwater International Airport, Tampa Bay, the easy way. And check that out. Wonder Franco. Go Rays. Jesus, late. What a day. We're here.